did some Macy's. He did the General Motors plant, Fremont, California. This stadium, in architectural terms, it floats. It floats on bedrock. This site was carved out of that mountain, and part of the rock that came out of this has been used at the airport for the runways. Are you guys in good shape?
We hope so.
Me too. Let's see. So it looks like most of you made it up the hill. The stadium opened in 1960. Within a couple of months, 8 people died coming up this hill. This is known as Cardiac Hill. And then the escalators were put in. They're not part of the original design. Over there, that's St. Francis of Assisi, patron saint of San Francisco. Hunters Point Naval Shipyard was. It's quite possible the building would have come in. It didn't. We're very fortunate. Let's go around the corner. When we played the Seahawks, that doubled. When we played the Raiders, that quadrupled. That's why I played that music, because this is the home of the Raiders. They played 5 games here in 1960. The entire 61 season was played here before they moved to the Coliseum. So they consider this their home. They were here 11 years before the 49ers were here. In Philadelphia, they have a similar setup, but they have a judge on game day. And the first person to be brought in front of the judge was a young man who ran across the field. The judge asked him if he had anything to say for himself before he was going to pass sentence. The Eagles were hosting the Dallas Cowboys that day. And the young man said, "Yeah, Troy Aikman sucks." The judge, being an Eagles fan, said, "You're right," and cut his sentence in half. When the stadium opened in 1960, you'd get those 3 items in a box lunch for 85 cents. You didn't want a beer, you just wanted a soda, 60 cents. Bleacher seat was 90 cents, parking place inside the stadium was $1. So you took the bus here, and your parents gave you $5, you came home with change. Now, can anyone share or believe what the most popular food item was offered here? And beer is not a food. Garlic fries. Garlic fries, very good. Very good. Number 2 is hot dogs. Number 3 is nachos. Way down on the list is cotton candy. In 1999, before that they played at Seal Stadium, a minor league stadium near here at 16th and Potrero. It's where Joe DiMaggio played before he went to the Yankees. When the stadium opened up in 1960, from upper 32 all the way around to upper 17 was not built. It was open. The reason being they ran out of money. The stadium was not enclosed finally until after the 71 season. Originally, when the Giants started playing here, it held 43,500. Now it holds 68,500. Does anyone know who threw out the first pitch? That's this side of this marked off area, because they are using heavy equipment, and that's what we've been asked to do. Unless they tell us that we can go to another place, and then we will. The owner of the team sits where it says Jack in the Box. And the reason is One, they can sell the 50-yard line ones, and two, that's closest to a private elevator and a parking space. And that's why Jack in the Box wanted to be there. So when it is shown on television, oh, there's the Yorks, there's the Jack in the Box song. You asked about when that's going to happen. We have events scheduled through August. In December, the seats come out, and doors come out, and the urinals, and the plumbing, and the asbestos, and the lead paint. This is a 1960 facility. And then what you have left is a concrete shell, and that's going to be imploded. There's talk of having a raffle where the winner gets to blow up the place. And then the rock is going to be crushed and it'll become the surface. This is a 28-acre surface. So that takes 6 to 8 months. So the stadium, the earliest it will be gone, and by the way, you have to take down the light towers too, is in about a year. This is Bryant Young, all-time leading pass sacker, quarterback sacker for the 49ers. Tim McDonald getting ready to say hello to Brett Favre. I'm going to go over here. Thank you. These are 49ers from an earlier era. Leo Nomalini, the first 49er drafted. Came from Lucca, Italy, played 14 years, played 400 games, never missed a down. 162 games in a row, he played offense and defense. Y.A. Tittle, younger than Abraham Tittle, played during the era in between Frankie Albert and John Brody. Went to LSU, played without a face mask because that's what they did. Played with his wedding band on. He is the first football player to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated in 1954. Right this way, please.
Oh, nice.
This is after Super Bowl 25. We know that, one, because Seifert's the coach, and more importantly, two, it's on CBS. The Super Bowl started in 1967, and for the first 3 years, it was broadcast concurrently on NBC that did the AFL, and CBS that did the NFL. And then when the leagues merged, then they started rotating back and forth, NBC, CBS for the Super Bowl. Now there's 2 more networks involved, ABC/ESPN and Fox. Fox did the last Super Bowl. Eddie DiBartolo, the uncle of Jed York, Paul Tagliabue, the former Hines Ward, suffered a concussion and afterwards decided to go on Dancing with the Stars. My wife said he won. Here we have another mirror ball competitor.
That's okay, go ahead.
He didn't win the coveted trophy, but he won a couple of Super Bowls. However, when he came to us, the second Super Bowl against Cincinnati, we know it's the second because it's on grass, so that means it was Super Bowl 23. The first time the Niners played Cincinnati was Super Bowl 16, Pontiac, Michigan,
Silverdome.
Indoors.
Yep.
At the Silverdome. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone need a bathroom break? It's the only one. No?
We got the field letter, right? So.
No? Okay, follow me. Mayor Ed Koch gifted to our mayor at the time, Dianne Feinstein, who is now the senator, state of California, these seals of New York. Are they both of New York City, or is one of New York and one of the city? This is the state. This is the city. City. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. Now, when the stadium comes down, the senator, Feinstein, who was the mayor at the time, has asked if she can get the city and the state given to her. It's Vern Glenn by Joe Fonzie. The logo was different. The 49ers took it. We put this up. So, if you'd like a picture by the logo, if you're a group, 2 on one side or on the other side, that way you can see the logo. If you would like, I'd be happy to take the picture of your group. The logo was of the Giants. 49ers came 11 years later, and they overlapped for 28 years. There's a difference between a clubhouse and a locker room. Clubhouse, you're in it for 5-6 months. Locker room, you're only here on game day. So from 71 to 99, the Giants said to the 49ers, you're not getting ready in here. And they didn't. So the team of the 80s never got ready in here. Walsh was never in here. Locke was never in here. Montana, none of them got ready in here. On the walls, you see the jerseys. If it's got a red border, that number is retired by the 49ers. If it's got a yellow border, they're in the Hall of Fame. 49ers have 22 players in the Hall of Fame. Not all of them are up here. Let's see who's sitting where. Well, Michael James, Frank Gore.
You got the good one, Leona.
You're one away from Navarro Bowman, where the coaches got ready. But before that, for 28 years, is where the 49ers got ready. State-of-the-art air conditioning. State-of-the-art heating elements. There's 53 players on a team, then you have coaches, then you have staff. That brings it up to a little more than 80. So that's about 3 times you. And add maybe 200 pounds to everybody. And that's what was roaming around in here. And before the season started, when you had tryouts, when you might have, instead of 53, 63, 73, 83 or more players, they were all in here. Temporary lockers. Okay. These are the original lockers. And they wrapped around and then went this way.
Nice.
Now, this is where Jerry Rice got ready. And this is where Ronnie Lott got ready. And Ronnie and Jerry would wave to their friends over there. They would wave to their friends over there. Because this is where Joe Montana got ready. And this is where Steve Young got ready. So they're a little bit apart. So thank you to Steve and Joe and Jerry and Ronnie. Please join your teammate down there. Watch your step. Got it?
Still here? Man, the guys are
5'11".
5'11".
Yeah.
Okay. And you're 6'4".
6'4".
Okay. Last year the tallest 49er was 6'8".
Jeez.
Okay. This stadium was built for
Short people.
wasn't built for football. Now inhale.
Stop spraying. Stop spraying.
This carpet has not been replaced since 1960. Okay? All players are very superstitious. Okay? This is almost 54 years of victory mold.
Hi.
If you know the words, join in. Before we go out on the field, we're going to have to go around the corner to the right because they're watering. There's no sliding. There's no tackling. I'm serious. There's no picking up grass like for a souvenir.
Oh, darn.
Okay. There's no spiking of younger people. Okay. Did anybody bring a ball?
No.
Oh.
Trophy.
Yeah, someone brought a trophy.
You're welcome to go into the stands. Take pictures there. Take pictures if you would. Oh, jeez. Well, we won't melt. So, before the players would go out onto the field, they'd pause and double tap the Bill Walsh plaque in honor of his memory. Now, who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
Oh, you guys are weak. Who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
Do a practice and then we'll do a wheel. Ready? So you can hear the acoustics. Who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
That was weak.
Wow.
Weak. Okay, weak. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody!
Good job. Okay. This is where the opposing team would go back to the locker room. This is where the Pope came out. In the Pope Mobile, which is a customized golf cart. They took away the railing, they put down a floor, and the Pope went up. Now we're going to go up here, and if you would like a token of today's event, please walk with me. And if you don't want a token of today's event, please walk with me. Chicago is number 3, soon to be number 2. When this comes down, I'll discuss how it's going to come down later on. Soldier Field opened before this one, but it's been completely redone, so that's why it's number 3. This is the first stadium made primarily of pre-stressed concrete. Pre-stressed concrete has the ability to move and not break. That's what happened here in 1989 for the beginning of the 3rd game of the World Series between the Giants and the Athletics. This stadium is built on bedrock. This was a quarry carved out of the side of that hill on the other side of the park. If it had been built on landfill, which is liquefied mud, which is where it was originally going to be built, which is a auxiliary parking lot now. There's been a lot more structural damage, like there was in San Francisco, the Bay Bridge, Cypress Freeway collapsing. This was built on bedrock, and it moved for 9 seconds. This was the design, the only design of a stadium by John Savage Bowles, B-O-L-L-E-S, a local architect. He went to Yale. Did some homes in the Bay Area. He did 15 Macy's department stores. He did Stanford. He did the one in Hillsdale. He did the General Motors plant in Fremont, California, which is now the Tesla. He did all of those. Now, we walked this way for a reason. On game day, where you are is where the opposing team's bus would offload the players, right by the garbage.
That's classic.
The home team parks through there, management and ownership parks in here. Everybody goes through security to get into the stadium. You went through security when you were able to convince the guard that you were on the list. Okay? It was much tougher before a game and days before a game. So we're going to walk up this ramp, and as a matter of fact, At the end of the tour, you're going to come back out this way and then safely back to your cars and leave it. These are images of what were cast of the 49ers. On the left is the largest image we have in the stadium. That's Frank Gore. He's paying homage to his mother, who had recently passed away. On the TVs, say the 49ers were playing the Seahawks. On game day, with the Seahawks here, there will be videos of the 49ers beating the Seahawks. And then they would go through security.
Okay, I think we need to go. Let's go. Up Sengongi.
On game day, there was a red carpet here. And then follow me to the left. There were 2 All-Star games played here. There were 2 World Series played here. It's the Yankees against the A's. Giants lost both. Been 7 games, won in 4 games. There have been 38 playoff games and 9 conference championships. And that's how we got what used to be here and here. 1982, the 49ers defeated the New York Giants. And then Mayor Ed Koch of New York had to give then Mayor Dianne Feinstein of San Francisco the seal of New York and the seal of Manhattan.
Wow.
And there was a plaque that commemorated it. They've been taken down recently. They're very, very heavy because Senator Feinstein has asked if she could have it.
Wow.
We have any baseball fans here? Follow me. Have a seat, please. Before the Giants started playing here in 1960, for 2 years they played at Seal Stadium, minor league stadium in San Francisco. It's where Joe DiMaggio played. The stadium opened up in April of 1960. It was supposed to look like this, meaning enclosed all the way around. They ran out of money, so from up above us, all the way around to upper 32, the upper deck was not built. It was open. Left field, you could see San Francisco. Center field, you could see the bay. Right field, you could see the Hunters Point Naval Shipyard. Instead of 68,500, held 42,500. Richard Nixon, vice president at the time, threw out the first pitch. On the mound with him that day was the father of the future governor, Governor Edmund G. Pat Brown, father of the current governor, and Ty Cobb, the Georgia Peach. In the months of July, August, September, sometimes October, there was football and baseball played here during the years 71 through 99. The 49ers came here in 71. The upper deck was enclosed for them. There's football, there's baseball in those months. So these 3 sections of stands on your right slid underneath the upper deck. Took 10 to 12 hours to do it. They worked by the use of hydraulics, which have not been serviced in almost 15 years because there's been no baseball here. The Giants left after 99. So if you're wondering, well, why didn't the Giants play the A's or the Dodgers in a benefit game here? It would have cost $2 to $3 million to fix the hydraulics one last time. We've had baseball, we've had football, we've had concerts, we've had tractor pulls, we've had motorcycle races in here. You see where that sprinkler is? That's about second base. And when we go out onto the field, be aware of the sprinklers because they don't move. If you run into them, they will hurt you. Second base is about where the Beatles concert was in 1966. Were any of you here that day? I was here. I was a vendor. I was selling peanuts. And that's what I made that night. Peanuts. And less than 23,000 people. They only played about a half hour. They played 11 songs, and they were the headliner. Were any of you here for the McCartney concert?
No.
Me neither. Because it was the only concert event here that employees weren't comped.
Oh.
So, there you go. The largest event ever here was in 1987 when Pope John Paul II gave Mass to more than 75,000 people out on the stadium floor. Were any of you here for that? Me neither. But many people who've been on our tours have verified it was a day like today, overcast. Mass started at 11. And when the pontiff came out about 10 minutes to 11, blue sky opened up. And there was hardly a sound in the stadium. When we go out onto the field, with your cooperation, we will demonstrate to you the acoustics, the echo in this stadium from a very small amount of people. San Francisco is talking with the Vatican about inviting the current Pope to give Mass. His name is Francis, the only Pope ever named Francis. And Francis comes from St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of San Francisco. You are sitting in a luxury box. There's 94 of them. They start at Delta, come all the way around, and go to the other side of those opaque windows. At AT&T Park, there's 65. The new 49er Stadium, there's 168 of them. This one, this is a 3, 6, 12. This went for $15,000 for a game.
Dang.
Okay? There was no food and there was no parking included. So this is for the younger people in the audience. This is a phone. Okay? It doesn't move, but it's always charged. And you would pick it up. There was a menu here. And then the caterer would bring you the food.
No rotary dial, huh?
No, those. Right. Okay. Where you see the grass cut out,
1, 2, 3.
that happened after the McCartney concert. People taking the grass. Oh yeah. Yeah. We will see what was also taken later on in the tour. Okay. Let's go up the steps again because we're going to the only bathroom break on the tour. The only one. Right this way. Lot played in the defensive backfield in a game against the New York Giants. He got his pinky finger caught in the grill of an opposing player. He was hanging by a pendant at halftime, and rather than come out, he had it cut off at halftime. Joe Montana, Steve Young. You'd be hard-pressed to name a team that had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, one right after another. Next time this could happen is if Aaron Rodgers goes into the Hall of Fame after Brett Favre. Let's go over here. These are 49ers from an earlier time. 49ers were the first professional team of any kind west of Chicago. They started in 1946. The Kezar Stadium, which is at Candlestick Park, held 60,000, only 20,000 seats between the goal lines. Right across the street was Polytechnic High School, where George Seifert went to high school, where Bob St. Clair went to high school. Hugh McElhaney, part of the $1 Million Backfield. How many of you like the basketball series? Leo Novellini, the first 49er draft pick, came from Lucca, Italy, went to the University of Minnesota, played over 14 years, 400 games, never missed it down. Jimmy Johnson, defensive backfield. This is who Deion Sanders patterned himself after. Not the bravado, but ability. No one threw to his side. His brother won the decathlon for the United States 1960 Olympics, Rayford Johnson. Fletcher Joe the Jet Perry got that name in the 1950s. He ran the 100-yard dash in under 10 seconds in his uniform. Y.A. Tittle, Yelverton Abraham Tittle. Went to LSU. He was a quarterback for the 49ers in between the
That's fine.
Frankie Albert and John Brody. First professional football player to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated 60 years ago, almost, November 1954. Then we have Lorenthal James Simpson, the best high school athlete to come out of San Francisco. He lived up at Ferraro Hill, which is the next hill over. He went to Galileo. I went to Lincoln. He sat behind me in English class, City College. Then he went on to USC, and then he made some poor choices. For the next 2 years or thereabouts, he has around-the-clock security in the state of Nevada. Let's go over here.
Thanks. Mission Impossible.
Okay, everybody, follow me. From now on, we're going to be locked in on both sides. Opposing team comes in, goes in there, gets ready, comes out, down the ramp, up the stairs, through the doors, makes a left. So every opposing football and baseball player, coach, owner, for baseball from 60 to 99, football from 71 to 2013, stood where you're standing. Home team comes in here. There's nothing left in the media room. What was in there were chairs, there was a riser, there was a podium. Behind it was the emblems of the 49ers, as there was here, not this. What was here before the 49ers took. This is where the interviews took place. On TV, it looks a lot bigger. This is it. Podcast hooks up here. They bring the players out from there. So, Vern Glenn, Mindy Bach, Joe Fonzie. This is where it was done. We started giving these tours 2012, fall. Since then, 20,000 of you have been on the tour. We don't do any advertising. Any. 80 million people have been to an event, Candlestick Park. 80 million. And they all haven't been in here. This is one of the few stadium tours where you can go into the home team's locker room. You can't do that at AT&T. Oakland doesn't have a tour. When I open up the door, you'll see the lockers all the way around. Some have name tags on them. Have your picture taken there, sit in the chair, whatever you want to do. In the middle of the floor is this logo woven into the carpet. Stay off of it. It's bad luck for you if you do, if you step on it. Okay? People in sports, they toil for our enjoyment. We respect them by not stepping on their logo. Okay? Whether it's male, female sports, high school, college, pro, any sport, that's the unwritten rule. Okay? But you're welcome to say behind it, there's a nice photo opportunity going this way, and you can see this in front of you, and then behind on the wall is another logo. By the way, that's the last remnants of the Giants. The orange and white. Okay. Now this song was played before the 49ers kicked off in the 1990s. They were here for 6 to 7 months during the year. 49ers came in 71. They're only here on game day.
Còn là hết xe.
They're only here 10, 11, 12 days in a year. So the Giants said, you're not getting ready in here. So from 71 to 99, for 28 years, the 49ers did not get ready in here. So that means Lott, Clark, Rice, Young, Montana, Never, and Walsh never were in
Keep on
here.
it.
Here in the next room. Okay.
Keep going, Emma. Stand over behind it. One eye look at it.
I need, let's see.
No, don't step on it.
Where is she?
Behind it.
I need you. Come here. Come with me.
Go.
Go ahead. Okay. Good job. Okay, you're right here. Okay, everybody, come on over here. No.
Don't sit.
Okay? Do what I do. Okay? Are you a 49er fan?
Yes.
Are you?
She was.
Okay. Do what I do.
Step it.
Kaepernick's locker.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, nice. Come on, Ma. Go lên, Ma.
Everybody, from 1971 to 1999, this is where the 49ers got rid. That wall was not here. That wall was not here. You had 2 rooms. There were lockers. Came around the corner, started there. Jerry Rice was here. Ronnie Lott was here. Joe Montana was here. Steve Young was here. 53 players on a football team, not counting staff and coaches. That brings it up to about 80. And during preseason, you might have 75 or 80 players. Everybody was in here. There was a fan there. That was the air conditioning. That was the heating. Okay. You're under section 19. It leaked. 3 stalls, 8 showers, 3 urinals. Halftime is 20 minutes. For all those people. The Giants have been a wonderful organization. First team to win 10,000 games. More players in the Hall of Fame than the Yankees. But they never won a World Series out of this stadium. In here where you're standing, is where 5 Super Bowls were put together. Here. This is the most hallowed, cherished ground in all of Candlestick Park. This cannot be brought down to Santa Clara. Have any of you been to the museum in Santa Clara?
Nope.
I've been. It's well worth it. You can spend a couple of hours there easy. And keep in mind, at the end of the tour, they bring you right through the gift shop. Before you go out. A lot of stuff to tempt you. This is Candlestick Park. When this stadium comes down in about a year, this is gone. This is not going to be recreated anywhere. Glad we could show it to you. When the 49ers, when the Giants left after 99, 49ers moved upstairs. Like where Kaepernick's long more, Patrick Willis, and so forth. The coaching staff stayed here. We go through this store.
Oh,
49ers went through for 28 years. Remember, the stadium was built more than 54 years ago. And it wasn't built for football. It was built for baseball. What? Who's the tallest person here? I think you.
me?
How about you?
Oh, yeah.
You.
Probably.
Okay. How tall are you?
Almost 6 foot, or probably 6 foot.
Okay. When we go around the corner, keep in mind the gentleman is 6 feet tall. Last year's tallest player was Alex Boone, 6'8", without helmet, without cleats, and without enthusiasm before the game. And you'll see why you cannot redo concrete. Okay? Now, everybody inhale deeply. This is the original floor from 1960. We're going to go around the corner through the Tunnel of Champions. If you know the lyrics, please join in. Come on in, and then the last person on the left, you can unhook the door. It closes by itself. Thank you. The opposing team's been introduced. 68,000 people are waiting for you to come up through what was the Giants' dugout. The stairs have been changed after the baseball team left. Okay? When you're on the field, I'll give you some time. I'll give you about 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a lot of time. Okay? So use it wisely. And remember, those sprinkler heads, they don't move. Okay? Before the 49ers would come out onto the field, they would pause here, because there was a picture of Bill Walsh here, and there was a plaque. Somebody took the picture after the McCartney concert.
Oh.
We took the plaque because it weighs about 80 pounds, and you couldn't put it under your coat to get out of here. So the plaque was in his memory of his contributions to the 49ers and to football. And the players would double tap it before they went out on the field. Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
You guys are weak. Let's try it again.
Try it again.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
Tap the wall.
Touch the wall, Ma. Touch the wall, Ma. All right.
Come on in. We're going to try out the acoustics. And we're going to need your help. Okay? Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
You'd have to improve to be weak. Okay? I'm going to say
really
who's
loud.
got it better than us, and you're going to yell nobody, and you'll hear the echo.
You
Okay?
Ryan, you gotta
Right,
practice.
stay here. Stay here.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
Wow!
Okay, that was your practice. Now your recorders are on. Okay? Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
Good job.
Ah.
That's 20 people.